John Gomes. I am your host for today. I do apologize about that technical difficulty. Um, we are here to talk about the Bos Auto podcast. Bos Auto, we specialize in exotic cars and a lot more. We're located in Quincy, Mass, just outside of Boston, on 112 Copeland Street. Stop by today to check out a beautiful selection of vehicles, or check our website out at www.bosautogroup.com. That's Bos Auto, BOSAUTO, group.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, and today we're going to talk about something that's very controversial in the industry. We're going to talk about electric cars. And I know what you're thinking. A lot of people are torn between either they like the idea of an electric car or they don't like the idea of an electric car. There's not many people in the middle. However, Massachusetts does have a plan. By 2035, all new cars are going to be electric. Now, that's 14 years away. And I know that kind of seems like a good amount of distance out, but we need to start accepting electric cars for what they are. I know a couple years back when everyone was talking about hybrid cars, they said, I don't want anything that has electric in it. I don't want anything I just want gas. I want petrol. I want a gas engine or a diesel engine. But you got to think about what happened a couple years ago. We had the Holy Trinity, and what those are the McLaren P1, the Porsche 918, and the Ferrari LaFerrari. Now those cars came out, they are hybrid, and they gave us some of the best performance we've ever had in supercars, or hypercars now. And they became very, very popular because of the power that they created with the electric assistance. Now, electric cars have been all over the news. Tesla and Porsche now has the new electric car. And I urge everyone here to not judge an electric car just based on what they think or what they perceive. I want everyone to drive one. Just go drive one, take one out for a spin, sit in one, go for a ride in one. A lot of people have friends that have electric cars. Just go in one and experience it for yourself firsthand instead of reading something on the internet or hearing something on TV. Now, for example, Bos Auto has a very nice 2019 Tesla for sale. I would like everyone to try and come down and take it for a test drive if you can. You'll be very, very surprised. I have driven a lot of different vehicles over my years. A little bit about myself. I've been driving and racing for, I want to say 7 years now. I race go-karts. I drive track cars. I've driven all over the U.S. I've even driven the famous racetrack, the Nürburgring. I've driven a good amount of vehicles. I instruct for professional driving instructors. I've driven all types of exotics, and I can tell you right now that there is nothing 0 to 60 like an electric car. And I know Tesla now has the new Model S that's coming out that does 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, and that's just mind-blowing. You need to remember that no real gas car is going to give you that much instant power. Now, I'm not 100% on electric cars. I still need to accept them just like everyone else, but we need to start accepting them now before 2030 or 2035 comes around, and that's all we have. And speaking of the mass plan at 2035, I want to talk about how that's going to change the future of cars. Mustang, Ford has the new Mustang that is now electric, the Mach-E. Corvette, Chevy has been talking about making a Corvette hybrid and an electric Corvette, and I want to know people's stance on that. Unfortunately, that is the way that we're going in the world, electric vehicles. So the Mustang Mach-E, first impression, you know, me personally, my opinion, I don't really like it. It's a four door kind of SUV Mustang. I wasn't too fond of it. I did read a lot of articles. I watched a lot of videos, and I saw, you know, some people driving it. I did see it around the roads, and I have to say that it's not as bad as I thought. You know, it's a step forward. And again, going back to when they were making hybrid vehicles, you know, everyone wanted to not have a hybrid. Everyone wanted the gas car. Everyone didn't want to have to plug in their vehicle to charge it. But you know, I ask you, do you charge your phone every night? Because that's ultimately what you're doing with your car. You know, while you're sleeping, you're not using your car. Just plug it in, and then when you wake up to go to work or wake up for the day, you know, just unplug the car and it's going to be fully charged. And you know, again, people didn't want electric vehicles, didn't want hybrid vehicles, but look at what they've given us and look at how far we've come. You know, electric vehicles are very new. They are something that we're going to have to get used to, and just give it time. You know, when vehicles first came out, way back in the day, people were like, I don't even want a vehicle. I have, you know, my horse that can take me everywhere. I don't want to have to fill up a vehicle with gas and all of that. But, you know, people adapted, people overcome, they gave it a chance, and now look at where we are today with vehicles, just in general, just gas vehicles. I also, talking about the future of vehicles, I want to ask everyone, every listener, how they feel about exotic cars now making SUVs. And the SUV is a pretty hot topic right now. Ford just announced that they will not be making many sedans, and they're going to focus on SUV and trucks. Now, I think that's okay. You know, Ford's been making SUVs and trucks for a while. It's their number one sellers in the American market. But I want to know what people think about exotic cars or exotic car companies making SUVs. You know, the Lamborghini Urus, the Ferrari SUV, Bentley Bentayga, the Aston Martin DBX. Those specialty car manufacturers making SUVs, do you think that it's okay? Do you think that it's sacrilegious? Do you think that they shouldn't do it? Or do you think that they're just trying to grab the market while it's hot and make something that everyone can accept? So I want people's opinion on that. You know, you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram. You can email us. You know, just let us know what you think. I want to know, you know, how people feel about exotic car companies tapping into a market that they're not used to at all. I mean, it was a big deal when Ferrari created the Ferrari FF, which was a four-seater all-wheel drive Ferrari. Everyone, you know, everyone's mind was blown, and they were appalled that Ferrari was making something that's not a two-seater rear-wheel drive car. And on top of it, the Ferrari FF was a front-engine all-wheel drive. I remember that when it came out, it sold okay. Secondhand market, it did not sell that well. The price did drop. And now they came out with the Ferrari GT4 C Lusso, and you know, that's starting to catch on as well. But I am skeptical of them making an SUV. I don't think that they should ever have done an SUV. I think they're just trying to tap into the market. But again, that's my opinion. And again, I want to know what other people think about that. Moving forward with the future of vehicles, that they're going electric, how do you think that is going to affect the price of cars now? You know, at some point, there's going to be the last gas-powered vehicle for sale. And I know that's very interesting to think about, but, you know, we need to realize that electric, again, is the way of the future. That's where it's going. And at some point, there's going to be no more new gas vehicles. So I want to know what people think. What vehicle do you think is going to be the last gas vehicle ever made? Do you think it's going to be a muscle car? Do you think it's going to be an exotic car? Do you think it's going to be just an everyday economy car? But, I want people's opinion. Do you think the price of that vehicle is going to be much higher than it is because it is the last gas-powered vehicle? Do you think it's going to be a collector's item? And, I want to know where people stand on that. Excuse me. I personally think that it's going to be an American car that is the last gas-powered vehicle. American cars have always been, always about gas-powered, always been about, horsepower, muscle cars. So me personally, I think it's going to be an electric car or an exotic car. Exotic cars have not really gone the way of full electric just yet. They have been, gas or hybrid. But me personally, I think it's going to be an American car that is going to be the last gas-powered vehicle. And I do think that it's going to be a collector's item. I do think that it's going to be a significant amount of money. And I think that it's going to be something for people to bid or auction or purchase if they want to experience, the last gas-powered vehicle. If you look back at history, the last manual Ferrari. The last manual Ferrari is now selling at auctions for an absurd amount of money, just because it was the last manual, car with a clutch car that Ferrari sold. So again, want to know your opinions on that. We are going to take a quick break right now. We will be back in a minute. Again, this is the Bos Auto Show. Thank you very much.
So, you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle? Buy it at Bos Auto. Bos Auto in Quincy has a fantastic selection of pre-owned vehicles, both luxury and economic. BMW, Audi, and Porsche, Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. They search nationally for the very best vehicles so you can drive home with the best value. And right now at Bos Auto, you can get behind the wheel of the pre-owned vehicle of your dreams with affordable finance rates, maybe even lower than 3. That's right, meaning just a few $100 a month. Visit bossautogroup.com, bosautogroup.com, and check out their huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. They'll buy your car, take your trade, or even work on consignment. Bos Auto has an incredible lineup of domestic and foreign vehicles, even rare finds like Ferrari. Search online and see for yourself why you should book your next car buying experience with Bos Auto. They're open for appointments Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. Book yours at bossautogroup.com, bossautogroup.com.
All right, welcome back to the Bos Auto Show. Again, my name is John Gomes. I am your host today. We have been talking about the future of vehicles, also electric vehicles. Now I want to get into the future of buying vehicles. Now, this has been extremely different with COVID and quarantining and the pandemic that's going on today. I want to talk about the future of buying a vehicle at a dealership. A lot of dealerships have been doing online deals. They have not been doing many face-to-face. So I want to ask people, do you think the larger dealerships are going to have difficulty with salespeople? And when I say that, I mean, do you think that they are going to have less salespeople because people are going to want to purchase the vehicles online like they've been doing during this pandemic? There are some car companies out there that do every single thing online. They do the financing online, they do the choosing the inventory, and they do the purchasing of the vehicle entirely online, and then it just gets delivered to them. Here at Bos Auto, I know that they do a lot of online discussions. So you can message them, you can email them, and you can say, I'd like this vehicle. You can do pretty much everything online with Bos Auto here in Quincy, Massachusetts. And I want to ask people, do you find that easier, or do you still enjoy going into the dealership, having that face-to-face contact, and, you know, negotiating or purchasing the vehicle from someone that you can actually see up close? My opinion, again, my opinion only, I do think that dealerships are going to have less salespeople in the future. I think a lot of things are going to be purchased online. I think the financing is going to be done online. If you think about it, whenever you applied for a credit card years ago, you have to fill out a piece of paper, you have to mail it to them, or you have to go into a bank and get interviewed just to get a credit card. Now, today, you can get a credit card in less than 2 minutes. You can go online, you can fill out your information, you can type in your social security number, your income, everything, and you can get approved right on the spot. Now, that's starting to trickle down to the car buying situation. And people are now starting to go online, they find the car that they want. Now, they fill out all the information, they fill out their social, they fill out their income, they fill out all of that, and they can get approved online right then and there. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about driving the vehicle? Yes, I agree. That is the most difficult part about shopping online. However, it does work in some people's favor. Let's say me personally, one of my vehicles is a Ford F-150. Now, I've driven the previous generation, the generation before that, and the generation before that. I know how a Ford F-150 is going to drive. So, again, me personally, if I were to buy a new Ford F-150, I don't think that I would need to test drive it. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind, being at my house, being comfortable in my house, going on my laptop, choosing a vehicle, selecting what color I want, what options I want, and just the ease of doing it all in the comfort of my own house. Filling out the information for financing, clicking purchase, having the vehicle delivered to me. And again, I know Bos Auto's we've been doing that here. They've had great success with it. I know that there have been a couple reviews of vehicles that have gone, way out of state. And those are the people who have driven the vehicle somewhere else or just owned the vehicle previously and did everything online, no face-to-face contact. The vehicle got shipped out to them, and they're very happy. So, again, I think that it could work. I think that is the future of buying. I think less face-to-face and less salespeople in the larger dealerships. In the smaller dealerships, I do think that they're going to be, salespeople. They're always going to have to be salespeople to help people with the questions of the vehicle. If someone decides to just pull in and show up to the dealership, you need to be able to show them how something works in the vehicle. So obviously, I'm not saying that we're ever going to abolish salespeople or get rid of customer service in general or face-to-face interactions, but I do believe that dealerships are going to have less salespeople and potentially less face-to-face interactions and transactions than online. This pandemic has really changed a lot of things in the world today. As something as simple as going out to a restaurant, that has now been changed. A lot more people are eating in, a lot more people are learning how to cook. And again, that all just comes down to adapting. So I think people will adapt. I think dealerships and I think car manufacturers will adapt. But they are going to have, in the future, they're going to have to change and adapt drastically. And again, Bos Auto, they've done such a great job at adapting. They do a lot of things online, a lot of things appointment only, and that's another factor that you can do. I think that if you go onto a car dealership website, you can make an appointment instead of just showing up and saying, I want to test drive this car. So if you make the appointment, then you know that one, the car is going to be there, two, the salesperson's going to be there, and then you can test drive the vehicle quickly. If you want to do all the paperwork in the dealership, then you can. If you want to go home and think about it, then you already drove that vehicle. So then you, in the comfort of your own house, can then proceed with buying the vehicle without having to come back to the dealership. And, you know, I just, those are my opinions. I want to know what other people think about that. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think that that's how people are going to go? Do you think that that's, not going to happen right after the pandemic? It's just going to go all back to normal. How do you think that the car auto industry or the dealership industry is going to change because of the pandemic? Do you think we're going to go to just online purchases, or do you think that it's going to go back to face buying? Again, speaking of buying vehicles, Bos Auto, just want to inform you that they're looking to buy any types of vehicles. They're looking to purchase anything, any vehicles for their inventory. So if you have a vehicle that you're interested in selling, please bring it by. If you have a vehicle that is your friends or your families or anyone else, please bring that in. We do referral programs. We will be able to help you out with that. So yeah, if you could please bring in vehicles, bring in referrals. We do buy vehicles on the spot. And then possibly, maybe you even want to come in and take a look at a vehicle and trade in a vehicle. Sorry about that. So again, if you have any questions on purchasing vehicles, we definitely also want to hear your feedback on the podcast on the questions that I asked. And then we do have a trivia question that I will be asking right now. So on the Rolls Royces, there is a caped lady on the top of the radiators. On the very front hood of the car, there is a lady wearing a cape on the very front. And some people, you might have seen the videos where if you touch them, they sink into the Rolls Royce so that people do not steal them. We want to know, what is the name of the caped lady on the top of the Rolls Royce hood? Is it A, a flying woman, B, Queen Elizabeth, C, Spirit of Ecstasy, D, Lady Liberty? And again, I will ask that question one more time. You do have 5 minutes to respond. So if you could please send your answers, A, B, C, or D, to Bos Auto. The phone number is 617-545-0383. That question one more time is, what is the name of the caped lady on the top of the Rolls Royce? Is it A, Flying Woman, B, Queen Elizabeth, C, Spirit of Ecstasy, D, Lady Liberty? This will be a chance to win a gift card. And please call in or send your answers via email or the number. And the number again is 617-545-0383. Again, my name is John Gomes. I am from the Bos Auto Show. Here, we specialize in exotic cars and a lot more. We are located in Quincy, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston on 112 Copeland Street. Stop by today to check out our beautiful vehicles or check out our website at www.bosautogroup.com. That is www.bosautogroup.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram, and today we spoke about electric vehicles. We spoke about the future of vehicles. We spoke about exotic SUVs. We spoke about the future of purchasing vehicles. I had a very fun time today, and thank you very much. I look forward to the next show.
John, we have a caller with a guest, Greg in Cohasset.
Hi, this is John. How are you?
John, I'm fine. And yourself?
Very good.
Glad to hear it. Happy New Year to all your listeners and everyone at the station.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you.
I've been on the roof of that station.
Oh, okay.
But that was last century. Anyway, is it C? The answer you're looking for is C, Spirit of Ecstasy.
C, correct. Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Now, how'd you know that?
Well, I study cars, but friend of mine, actually someone that used to be a DJ at WATD, Peter Black, had a Rolls Royce. He had a Rolls Royce.
Really?
So we used to study cars.
Okay, and what's your favorite car? What's your favorite car manufacturer?
Well, I've had a lot of. I even had a Fiat when I was in high school, a coupe that was quite rare.
Okay.
But I mean, I think I've never really owned one, but I might go for a Ferrari. You never know.
Okay.
But there's
All right.
nothing like a German car.
I agree. I'm a big fan of Porsche. Big fan of Porsche. I've driven a lot of Porsche race cars, and there's just something about them.
Yeah, you're lucky. You know, it's something to enjoy, I would guess. You know, I'm a BMW coupe owner from the 80s. Quite a
Oh,
few
very
of those.
nice. Oh,
And
awesome.
those are fun. Those are fun,
Now,
especially the manuals.
yes. Now, what do you think about some of the questions that we talked about? What do you think about the future of electric cars?
Well, you're right that, you know, it ought to be like a novel. There was a novel, The Last Convertible. I think there'll be a novel, The Last Gas Guzzler. But obviously, the last car that comes off the production line will probably not be a muscle car.
Okay.
You know, gasoline-wise, it'll probably be some sort of Nissan combo job. But you're obviously right. Everyone, I think it's like 2035, is it?
Yeah,
But
2035 is what Mass is planning.
So it seems a long way off for some people, but it's really only a decade and a half. So we'll all be driving electric cars, you know, maybe hopefully, or hydrogen or propane. They already have propane vehicles and hydrogen vehicles and
True.
mostly buses and trucks, but you know, we like to put a pedal to the metal, but you can only feel guilty about it if you're Irish Catholic, like myself. So
I actually I didn't even think about the propane cars, and that's something that I definitely need to look into more.
It's something I've been studying and trying to keep up on.
Okay.
An old friend of mine, Eddie Bates, is a chemical engineer, I think, at Mobile, or he was. But I'd love to talk to someone like him, and because there'll be more and more, different kinds of fueling stations. You pull in and get a charge. But right next to it will be propane. So that's the kind of forward thinking I was, delving into.
Definitely.
One of my brothers always said, I think big. But then he sort of took my idea and ran with it. Anyway, that's another story for a Tom Williams show. All right, well, I enjoyed listening to your show. What else you need to know? What other questions did you have? I'm not a big fan of email anymore, so I'll answer them.
I just I appreciate the phone call and appreciate the discussion. Thanks for listening to the show.
Okay, did you get a winner?
You are the winner.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Because like I said, I like emailing, but I don't do that, so I wasn't sure. But it's the first time really, maybe, now people, that's how you do win contests now, I guess.
Yeah,
All right, well,
definitely.
I'll hang on. I don't want to tie up your radio show. I enjoy it, though. Do you do texting? I thought I might have sent somebody at Bos Auto a Saab convertible text when you
They
first came on the air, but I never heard.
Bos Auto does text. They do appreciate the phone calls though, just so they can talk to someone
And
directly.
of course, you want people to come by too,
Yes, definitely.
if they can. But I mean, it's a good way to start the ball rolling now,
Of
especially with
course.
things like Craigslist and everything. And you can talk to an owner or a buyer or a seller, and then follow it up with a text if they're still interested. But
Of course.
the car market is getting tighter and tighter because there'll be less and less of what you used to want or what you thought you wanted. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, you're not going to find a GTO convertible from the
No.
60s anytime soon. And if
No,
you
no.
do, you should buy it. I
I
think Ronnie
agree.
Goodwin from Goodwin Graphics in Cohasset, he had a convertible Pontiac in high school. And that thing would be worth a small fortune now. He may still have it, but he walks everywhere. If you see Ronnie, wave to him at Goodwin Graphics. Get a little plug in there for him.
I will.
All
Thank you
right.
very much. All
So
right.
I'll hang on then? You want me to hang on?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because
All
like I
right.
said, I've been on the roof of that building you're in, so
All right, perfect. Well, I
don't
appreciate
leave
the
me
phone call.
hanging. Okay.
All right,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
talking. All right.
And if anyone would ever like to call into the show, we are more than welcome to, discuss things, some of the questions that I asked today, or just anything that comes to mind, with vehicles, financing, purchasing, dealerships, anything that you'd like to discuss, revolving cars. So, as a sign off, again, I would just like to say my name is John Gomes. I am the host of the Bos Auto Show today. Um, Again, Bos Auto specializes in exotic cars and a lot more. We are located in Quincy, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston on 112 Copeland Street. Stop by today to check out a beautiful selection of vehicles or check our website out at www.bosautogroup.com. Again, that is BOSAUTO group.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. And we had a lot of fun today discussing different things. Again, keep those phone calls coming. Keep those emails. If you'd like to text, again, you can reach us on Facebook and Instagram. Please, let me know how you felt about the show. Let me know how you felt about things that I discussed today. I'm very curious to see how people are reacting about electric cars. And now that our caller just mentioned to me hydrogen and propane cars, which I do need to find out about those a little bit more. I will be doing some research. He did mention that there are charging stations. I want to bring that up real quick here. There are charging stations all over Massachusetts, a lot on the Mass Pike as well. So instead of just pulling off and getting gas, you can pull off, charge a vehicle. There are speed chargers. You can grab a bite to eat, and that will take care of that. So again, this is John Gomes from the Bos Auto Show. Please let us know how you felt about the show, how you felt about the topics, and what your opinions are on everything. I had a great time hosting today, and I look forward to the next time.